Welcome to Stave Draws. I'm Stave, an illustrator and animator. And in this video I'm going to explain how I wrote the story of Cubby the Lion Painter. I'm working on a new project which is called Cubby the Lion Painter, and it will be a picture book. And in this video I'm going to explain how I wrote the story, and the story is in rhyme, and it's my way of writing a picture book. So it's not the ultimate guide for how to write a picture book. There are numerous of books written about how to write a story, and most of the time I do scripts for animation or comics or even infomercials. But I never really wrote a story for a picture book. And when you write something for a picture book, you need to know some basic stuff. First of all, you need to know the age limit for a picture book. And the age limit for picture books is 3 to 8 years. And in the beginning, when children are 3 or toddlers, they cannot read, they will be read to by parents or someone else. And when they are around 7 years of age, they will start reading the stories on their own. So the picture book of Cubby the Lion Painter is targeted towards children aged 3 to 8. And there's a huge difference in the development of reading and of understanding stories. I'll leave a link to a log because I'm going to reference a lot of links, and I will put all the links in the blog about writing Cubby the Lion Painter. There you can see all the ranges of children and how they read stories, or if they even can read stories. If you want to write a story for children, you need to use simple words. Unfortunately, there's not a list of words you can use, but don't make it too difficult. The page count of picture books are 24 until 32 pages. So you need to be very compact in what you write. You first need to have an idea, and the idea for Cubby the Lion Painter came from sketches I've made 4 years ago, and I developed the character a little bit more for the Like So YouTube channel. And after that I did Inktober, just to practice the character and the environment of Cubby the Lion. And Cubby looks a bit different because he got dreadlocks, and then I got the idea to make him a painter, and that he's different than all the other lion cubs. And I wanted to write the story throughout his eyes, because he's still a cub and he looks at the world in a different way. And that was the starting point to start the story and to make it a bit like a Draw My Life. And that's the basic structure of Cubby the Lion Painter. It is always a good way to pitch your story, and a story pitch contains of 2 sentences which will boil down your entire idea of your book or animation. The pitch line for Cubby the Lion Painter is: Cubby the Lion likes to paint and is different and is not accepted by the pride. The pride is in danger and Cubby saves the day and is accepted. A good story always has a beginning, a middle and an end. So for Cubby the Lion Painter I broke down the story in 3 parts. So the beginning is the introduction of the character. In the middle there will be a problem that needs to be solved, and in the end it's the resolution of the problem, or the character has changed. When you write a book about a certain place, it's always good to do some research, and I knew that Cubby would be living in Tanzania near Lake Manjara. So I searched the internet and I downloaded a lot of pictures, a lot of reference pictures, and also did some research about plants and about the animals that live there. And when you see all that visual information, it will get you some new ideas as well. And I got a lot of ideas by doing Inktober drawings, and you know, then you just play around with the character and also with the environment. So I got a lot of ideas by just sketching and inking some preliminary sketches, because that's how I saw the Inktober. After I wrote the story of Cubby the Lion, it was just some short sentences per page. So I wanted to make a picture book with 24 pages. And I just wrote down some simple words explaining what was going to take place on each page. And for a picture book, most of the part it's all visual, because 20% will be the text and 80% will be the illustration. So you also have to write in a certain way that there's enough information for the illustrator, and that it is a different kind of scene that you're writing, because it's a very compact story. 24 pages is not much to tell a story, and then you really need to have different scenes so it will be interesting to the reader. I first started out writing the story in prose, but after that I decided I wanted to do it in rhyme, and I started out doing it just the old-fashioned way. I wrote everything down with a fountain pen, and I used an old dictionary I got from my American dad 30 years ago, and also used a little book, a rhyming book, and I'll also leave the links in my blog post. And the thing about writing in rhyme is that you first need to find your beat, because it has a certain rhythm, and you need to, of course, rhyme everything. And I used that rhyming dictionary, which is great because you can look up the end words, but you can also use the internet. I found a great site which is called Rhyme Zone, and there you just can tap in the word you're looking for. But the great thing about that is that you can also look for synonyms, because if you're rhyming something and you know the word just doesn't rhyme, you can find synonyms and see if they will rhyme. First off, I did everything on paper. That were the first 3 drafts. And when you write a story, you just don't do it in one go. That will never happen, because writing is just erasing and deleting a lot of scenes. And that's what I did for this story, because I wrote it in different parts. So I wrote the first version of the story, and then I just waited a few days. Then I reread it, and then you can find errors and look at it in a different way. When you write a story in rhyme, just try to write as simple as possible and don't come up with cringy words or sentences, just because it will fit into your rhyme. Well, here's the first page of Cubby the Lion Painter, and I'm just going to read it. It started with mud, spitter spatter blubberdy blob, leaving marks on the stones near the lake, hippity hop. Sliding, hop, step, jump, and tiptoeing away. Making prints is the game I like to play. You can see that there is a certain rhythm to the rhyme, and I just made up some words like blubberdy blob and hippity hop, which aren't real words, but these words are called onomatopoeias, and they're used in comics a lot, like wham, bam, splash. It's just words describing a sound, and hippity hop and blubberdy blob is because he is stamping his feet in blubber, and children always like these kind of made up words because they make up words on their own. After the first 3 drafts, I continued on my computer, and there I edited everything in Pages because I'm on a Mac. And the great thing about doing your text in the computer is that you can see the word count, and you can also look for words that are similar, so you can change them, or you can even change the whole structure of your story. and that's much easier than if you do it on paper. I had a lot of fun creating Cubby the Lion Painter, and I have a question for you. If you write stories of your own, how do you go about your business? What kind of steps do you take to create a story or a children's book story? Please let me know in the comments down below. Creating is fun, and practice makes perfect. See you next time. Doodles!